So in the last video, we have thought about cattle ranching. We have thought about the problems that cattle ranching can cause in tropical rainforests. We've looked at how the cattle can walk towards the river and destroy the river banks. We've also thought about the problems caused when we cut the trees down near to the river banks. We've also thought about when we cut down the trees to make large fields for the cows to live in, this destroys the nutrient and the water cycle. We've also thought about the problems that would happen if we just let the cows walk in the rainforest. They'll not be able to get enough food and they'll suffer lots of horrible diseases. They'll also destroy the rainforest and its biodiversity, or the number of species that are able to live there. So you can see, traditional cattle ranching causes many problems. The soil becomes infertile, the nutrient cycle is broken, and the water cycle is broken. So we need to think about a new way to have cattle ranching that does not destroy the nutrient cycle or the water cycle. Have a look at this picture. In the middle of this picture, you can see a small enclosure. It's the section in the middle of this picture that is not very green. Here you can see that cows have been kept inside one section of the field. The rest of the field, well, the cows are not allowed to travel there. The rest of the field is green because they are growing a special crop. This crop is food for the cows. Sometimes we call this food fodder. Zooming into this picture, you can see the cows have been kept inside one section of the field. Food and water is brought to them. The food is grown here. As we have said, this is known as a fodder crop. By having the cows contained or restricted to one area of the field, you are not letting them walk and destroy the rest of the rainforest. This helps protect biodiversity of the natural habitat. It stops them from wandering towards the river and destroying the river banks. It also stops them wandering into the surrounding rainforest and destroying it. In this picture, you can see that there is rainforest in the background. Actually, this is new rainforest or replanted rainforest. So the farmer has decided that some of the rainforest needs to be replaced. However, some of the land has still been used to grow crops. But you will know straight away the problem here is that this field is very large. It will not have a proper nutrient cycle. Well, the farmer has decided to grow a special type of crop, a special type of soya. This is a very good food for cows to eat. Soya also has the advantage is that it actually puts nutrients into the soil. It takes nitrogen from the air and puts it into the soil. So it's not a perfect nutrient cycle, but it's a lot better than growing crops that do not put nutrient into the soil. Just have a think about it. How clever is this? You're growing a crop that your cows will eat. You can then use the cow manure or poo to fertilise the crops. As well, the crops themselves put nutrients into the soil. This helps to build up the nutrient cycle and means that we can grow soya crops for a long period of time without the use of artificial fertilisers. Let's go back again to think about these cows. Here you can see lots of healthy cows. They're not allowed to run around the rainforest. They get plenty of food. The food is grown on fields that are already degraded or cut down rainforest. So in this system, we are not cutting down any extra trees. Here you can see the cows are having a lovely time eating the soya beans. The cows will make fertilizer or cow poo. This can be put back onto the fields to help new crops to grow. Also, the soya beans are super clever. They actually put nutrients back into the soil. This will help the next crop of soya beans to grow. Also, water is taken from the river and given to the cows. No longer do we need to have the cows wandering down to the river banks, destroying the river banks, pooing in the water, and destroying the river ecosystem. In addition, because we have the cows in a fence, we don't need to let them go down to the river. So we don't need to cut down the trees next to the river. The trees that are next to the river are safe because the cows will not destroy them. This means the trees can hold the soil together next to the river bank. Have a think why this system is better. Have a think how this system protects the water cycle. Have a think about how this system protects the nutrient cycle. Have a think as well about how this system of growing cows or cattle ranching protects the river. Stop the video and decide if this is a good way to use the rainforest.